Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another video from the Ultimate Collector. Today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the European Collector's Edition of Resident Evil 2. Now this is the PlayStation 4 version, so I'm a huge fan of the Resident Evil game series. It's actually my favourite video game series, and I couldn't have been more happy when they announced that they was remaking Resident Evil 2 a couple of years ago. Now, once this collector's edition went up for pre-order, I just absolutely had to get a hold of one. Now, this does vary from the collector's edition that was released in America, and there was also a collector's edition that was released in Japan, which I believe contained a typewriter. Now, I believe this version was more expensive than the American collector's edition of this set, which I think is because it contains replica keys from the police station. But I'm going to have a good full look through this box and you'll see everything in detail. Now, this is the most money I have ever spent on a single video game. This set retailed for $229.99, and it was only available to pre-order from the UK retailer Game. That's literally the shop chain that we have here in the United Kingdom. It's just called Game. And it went up for pre-order, and then it immediately sold out of pre-orders pretty quickly. And then a few months later they had a new batch of pre-orders, and they was for sale for a little bit longer, but they did eventually also sell out. Now I think some people are selling these online on such sites as eBay for a lot more money than they were retailing for, unfortunately. But yeah, the first thing I've got to say about this box is it might be a little bit deceiving on the camera is just the actual size of this box. If I put my hand there, I mean, I've had to bring the camera right back just to get my the box in frame. It is huge, and it goes right the way back too. So that's enough of me talking about this. Let's get this open and have a look at all the goodies we've got inside. Okay, so I've got my knife. I'm just going to leave the camera there steady on the stand, and I'm just going to carefully open the top part as carefully as I can, just in case the game is touching right at the top of the box. And they've put a nice thick layer of bubble wrap here, which is awesome. That's just a receipt, I believe. Is indeed $229.99. Quite a dent in the bank balance that was. Right, I'm going to probably have to pick it out of the box, but I'll show you exactly how it looks in here. So, they've wrapped it really nicely in a really thick, strong bubble wrap. So, I'm just going to pop the camera down and we're going to get this out. Okay, so here it is. I've just simply lifted it out of the box. Still got the bubble wrap around it. So, let's remove this. Actually, looks like it might be upside down. I think it is. Yes, it is. Right. Let's carefully remove the bubble wrap and turn this the right way. So wow, this thing is huge. So you can see we've got Resident Evil 2 Collector's Edition. Nice 18 PEGI rating there. Of course, Capcom, PlayStation 4, and you can pretty clearly see exactly what this is based off. This is of course the item trunk, famous from the very early Resident Evils, where you would store all of your items as you progressed through the game. Key items such as weapons, keys, herbs, aid sprays and ink ribbons. So I'm not sure how I'm going to remove these parts without damaging it, so I'm going to do this carefully. Okay, so all I've done is removed the 4 clear stickers that were all over the box. It took a little bit of time. I had to make sure I did it as carefully as possible as to not damage the box. And the box, I can happily say, has survived the transit and is in absolute mint condition. Now, this is like a sleeve around the box, so I'm going to try to... What I'll do is I'm going to lay it down and hopefully this should slide off. And I'm going to hold the box just in case the lid swings open. Okay, now you can see that it is a full-on replica of the storage trunk boxes in Resident Evil 2. It's even got the RPD Raccoon Police Department logo here. That is absolutely awesome. Now I'm wondering whether it actually opens like one fully or the lid just completely comes off. And when I mean opens like properly, whether it opens and stays open with like the hinges here. But well, let's give it a look. Oh wow, it actually does. They have really put a lot of detail into this collector's edition. I honestly thought they was going to cop out on the lid and it was just going to pop up, but it actually has even got the little parts here to hold it. So we've got a confidential thing here. I don't know if this comes out. Doesn't look like it does. Written authorization required to read this file. So let me just put the camera down and I will get this file out. This is just so awesome. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but we got it. So here it is. So let me pop it back up so you can see exactly what we've got here. I'm not going to go through every page. It's like a detailed description as if the events were in real life. You've got like a newspaper article there of the zombie outbreak. Information. So it's like this has literally been created as a full-on confidential police file. That is really awesome. I'm going to have a proper look through this later for sure. It's on really nice thick card paper as well. Chances are, if you are probably watching this video, you've probably played the one-shot demo. Honestly, it was really awesome, and it certainly lived up to the hype that I was hoping it would. And I honestly can't wait to get this game booted up. So that's the file book. I'm going to just lay that down there, away from the stickers. Here is probably the most important part of the set, and there's the actual game itself, of course. And it is the steel-tinned edition copy of it, of course. You'd expect that in the collector's edition. I don't believe the steel-tinned collector's edition was available in most retailers. I think it might have been on Amazon, but I don't think you got the Dulux edition items with it. Not entirely sure though. So we have the soundtrack here. That is really cool. I absolutely love Resident Evil 2 soundtrack. I'm really excited to hear its new score, and of course use the old score as well when I replay through the game. The RPD Hall is honestly one of my top 5 tracks from all of the Resident Evil games. It is so iconic and awesome. It's a really awesome track. And this looks like the keys. Okay, so they're a little bit lighter than I thought. So I'm going to just pop that down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move the trunk to the side just so I can show you these keys properly. Help me having to chuck the camera up. So we've got a nice little wooden box, and of course you've got the symbols of the keys that are used throughout the police station. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit tricky, but we got it. Oh, so one of the keys has come a little bit loose, but that'll be the first one we have a look at. Actually, let me just put them in the display so you get a good look at them. So they are actually full-on replicas of the keys from Resident Evil 2. They are indeed metal keys, like what you'd get is if it was a normal key to your house. That is really awesome. They're probably a tiny little bit smaller than I thought they was going to be. The picture on the pre-order makes them look a little bit bigger, but I guess it's more realistic this way, as opposed to having, you can't really imagine Leon and Claire walking around with like a massive key in their pocket. Let me just try to get that to focus. There we go. If I hold my hand behind it, that should do it. Very nice quality. And for those curious, the parts at the bottom of the keys are all different as well. It's not just the same design. So I think this is the item that was missing in the American pre-order release. But of course it was a little bit cheaper than the European. But I do think these keys are very awesome. So let's pop those back. And I'm not sure whether anything else comes in this box. We're going to have a little look. So we have a badge. And if I recall, is this Claire Redfield's design of her jacket? I'm trying to get it to focus on there. There we go, you can see it a little bit. Made in heaven. I'm sure this is Claire Redfield's jacket. If it's not, I'm going to put a correction in the video right here. And I think that is it. Oh no, wait, there's more, of course. How could I forget this item's in there? So, this is huge. This is what the biggest item is in the box. Right here. And this is, of course, the Leon S. Kennedy PVC figurine. And it's quite a big box. So the figure is actually looking to be bigger than I thought. And the keys are a little bit smaller. Now let's get this guy open and have a look at him. Okay, and here is Leon, and first impressions, this is actually a really impressive looking figure. In fact, it's almost unfair to even call this a figure. The quality is that much more on the lines of Hot Toys. Now, I know it obviously doesn't use the same like real clothing or real hair material that they use in Hot Toys, but this does not warrant a £300 to £400 price tag that a Hot Toys does. And the fact that the quality is this good as a bonus for a collector's edition is really impressive. In fact, I'm going to do a little comparison to a Hot Toys that I've got after I've shown you a little look at this figure. So I've put this black sheet just behind the figure just to make sure that the camera doesn't outfocus on any other merchandise piece behind. So you can get right up in there in Leon's face, and you can see he's got a very serious expression. He is on a mission right there, and you can see they've really used like a type of glossy type paint over his eyes, so it actually gives it that much more of a shine and that more realistic eyeballs that you would get. His hair looks cool. He's got multiple layers of browns and blacks in there, and we work our way down. Now that is actually plastic as well. It does look like it's actually metal, his badge, but it's all plastic. Everything has been painted very good on here. It doesn't look like there's any paint splodges or anything going, the paint going on any other item on here. These were all must have been individually painted in whatever factory they was, and then all glued together, and it's very much noticeable. Now the figure comes in 3 parts. It's the stand, which we will get to in just a moment, and he has 2 pieces, his handgun and torch. Handgun's a little bit fiddly to get in, so do be careful when you do that. Try to do it with a little bit of caution, because you don't want to rub any paint off Leon's fingers. Come down, you've got his belt here, and you've got some items in here, such as handcuffs. And you might notice everything kind of looks brand new with what he's got here, because you do know that if you're a Resident Evil fan, it's Leon's first day on the job, so all of his equipment is going to be new, which is why his uniform looks immaculate, and they've done a great job of that. Coming down, you can see his boots. A lot of detail. There's even detail at the bottom of his boots, really. There's like the sort of soles you would get on normal boots, and they've done a great job there, seeing as there is something you won't even look at because it's going to be on display. The base is it's not as high quality as the figure. It's quite hollow, really. If I lift it up, it's a very hollow base. There's nothing solid about it, but it does the job. It's got Leon S. Kennedy's name there. If you're a Resident Evil fan, then you must know that the S stands for Scott. And on the base, we've got the Raccoon City Police Department symbol. Now I have checked, the figure does stand on its own if you don't want to use the base. So if space is an issue for your display, you can do him that way also. But I would recommend having him leaned against something close so he doesn't knock over, because it's not the safest way to display him. So here's a little comparison to the Hot Toys Midnight version of Albert Wesker from Resident Evil 5. Obviously the Hot Toys is higher in quality, but as I said earlier, the price ranges for Hot Toys are considerably more. As you can see, these ones use real clothing. His sunglasses come off, and then the lights even in his eyes even turn on. But as you can see, putting these two, if you was to have these on your shelf, you wouldn't really know that one was twice the value in terms of a figure. It looks like Leon's a little bit taller, but that's only because the base he's on is, well, it's about an inch thick. So if you was to stand him not on the base, they would be a bit more accurately proportioned with the two of them. As you can see, that's really, really awesome. Okay, so I actually almost missed this in this set, but this confidential part here actually opens, and there is two more items inside there. The first being this Raccoon Police Station poster, which is displayed on really beautiful high quality cardboard. I'm trying to hold it up as best as I can with one hand. And on the other side is actually a map of the police station and a high quality picture of it at the top. And there's also a note here from one of the police officers. And the other item, there's nothing too special, but it's the Dulux Dlc Pack. So this is what you get extra with the DLC. The pack itself, you've got Elsa Walker costume for Claire Redfield, which is, if you, of course you're a fan, you'll know that's from Resident Evil 1.5. You've got some extra costumes here, military costume, and you've got the Samurai Edge, which is Albert Wesker's gun. On the other side is the actual code, so I can't actually show you that because I haven't used it myself yet. And that's everything in the UK Collector's Edition set of Resident Evil 2, guys. I'm really happy with this set. I know I might be a little bit biased towards it just because I'm such a huge fan of Resident Evil. If I had maybe just one slight little bit of criticism, and it's not much by any means, I'm a really big fan of Leon, and I like Leon and his character, but I would have probably slightly preferred to have had Claire Redfield as the figure instead. But that is my only real criticism with this collector's edition set. Otherwise, it's got everything in here a Resident Evil fan would want, especially of Resident Evil 2, of course. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. I appreciate it, especially if you watch this video all the way to the end. The only thing I can say to you now is get off this video and get on Resident Evil 2. See you again soon, guys. Take care of yourselves, and all the best.